Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated. Take your seats. We're going to start very soon. Okay. So, we are going to examine Tajikistan's file at the end of 10B. Not right now, but at the end of 10B. And right now, we're going to go through the file 10B26. Nomination is called Gnawa from Morocco. Mrs. Bach, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The next file is Gnawa submitted by Morocco. Gnawa is a set of musical events, performances, fraternal practices, and therapeutic rituals mixing the secular with the sacred. The element is a Sufi brotherhood music combined with lyrics with a generally religious content, invoking ancestors and spirits. From the information included in the file, the nomination satisfies all 5 criteria for inscription on the representative list. The evaluation body considered that Gnawa provides its followers and practitioners with a very strong sense of identity promoted within society, and therefore constitutes a social link that not only brings members of a group together, but also connects such groups with the rest of the population in a city, village, or region. The proposed safeguarding measures have been drafted with the communities concerned, and the communities played a key role in all stages of the nomination process. The evaluation body wishes to encourage the state party to pay more attention to achieving a gender balance in the safeguarding of the element by recognizing women's active role in its practice. The evaluation body recommends that the committee inscribe Gnawa on the representative list of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Bach. As there are no amendments, I wish to proceed directly to the decision and to adopt it as a whole. It's already on screen. Then I proceed to declare decision 14Com 10B26 adopted. Félicitations au Maroc. Vous avez la parole.
Muchas gracias, señora Presidente. Honorables estimados delegados, con gran honor y profunda gratitud y también con mucha alegría acogemos la decisión tomada hoy por la UNESCO de consagrar el arte Gnawa como patrimonio cultural inmaterial de la humanidad durante esta 14ª edición del Comité Intergubernamental para la Salvaguarda del Patrimonio Cultural Inmaterial que se realiza aquí, en Colombia, un gran país amigo con el cual compartimos excelentes relaciones de amistad y cooperación desde hace 40 años. Esta consagración constituye un gran reconocimiento al Reino de Marruecos y a Su Majestad el Rey Mohammed VI, quien ha puesto siempre la cultura como principal componente de la identidad de la nación, así como de su autenticidad. De igual manera, es un reconocimiento notorio tanto del arte Gnawa como al rico y prolífico patrimonio cultural de mi país. La música gnawa es una herencia universal y humana y una expresión simbólica de la diversidad étnica y cultural marroquí que es menester conservar. La magia de esta música, que es a la vez patrimonio y modernidad, encuentra su origen en una magnífica mezcla de influencias musicales africanas, árabes y bereberes. El arte gnawa, que aporta una verdadera dinámica a la escena música nacional, ha adquirido un renombre internacional al fusionar su música espiritual con géneros similares como el blues, el jazz o el reggae, entre otros. Cabe recordar que cada año se organiza en la hermosa ciudad marroquí de Essaouira el Festival Internacional de la Música Gnawa, en el cual reconocidos músicos intercambian su repertorio con el de los Gnawa, ofreciendo así una rica mezcla de orígenes musicales y culturales, fusionando sus influencias individuales en un sonido colectivo. Estamos muy orgullosos de ver cómo el arte gnawa se adiciona a los otros 7 elementos del patrimonio marroquí que ya están inscritos en esta prestigiosa lista representativa del patrimonio cultural inmaterial de la humanidad. Esta lista representativa ilustra la diversidad y la riqueza del gran patrimonio marroquí y contribuye a una mayor conciencia de su importancia. Sin duda alguna, la inscripción del arte gnawa en esta lista preservará una rica tradición oral ancestral y favorecerá aún más su internacionalización. Agradecemos muy especialmente a la UNESCO, que constituye un verdadero oasis de cultura, tolerancia y paz, por esta grata elección que materializa un sueño por el cual se ha luchado desde hace 23 años para su concretización. Conocer la historia y las raíces nos ayudan a entender y a transformar el presente. La cultura nos une, nos trasciende y la diversidad nos enriquece. Muchísimas gracias por su confianza y por su apoyo. Si lo permite, doy la palabra al señor Amrari Absalam, representante del Departamento de la Cultura. Muchísimas gracias.
Merci. Merci, Madame la Présidente. Nous tenons d'abord à remercier la Colombie pour son hospitalité et son excellent accueil. Nous remercions l'organe de l'évaluation du secrétariat de la Convention 1003 pour le travail réalisé. Et nous exprimons notre profonde gratitude au comité intergouvernemental pour le précieux soutien. À cette occasion, je vous invite à découvrir l'art gnawa avec la troupe du maître Abslam Aliken.
We are now about to examine the file 10b38, Traditional Turkish Archery, submitted by Turkey. Please, Mrs. Bak, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The next file is Traditional Turkish Archery, submitted by Turkey. Traditional Turkish archery encompasses principles, rituals, and social practices, the craftsmanship of traditional equipment, archery disciplines, and shooting techniques that have evolved over the centuries. Bearers and practitioners ensure the continued viability of the element by adapting it to fit contemporary conditions. From the information included in the file, the nomination satisfies all 5 criteria for inscription on the representative list. The evaluation body noted that the practice is considered as part of Turkish historical and cultural identity and strengthens the sense of cultural continuity. The state party and communities concerned have undertaken many safeguarding measures that ensure the viability of the element. The proposed strategic plan for the safeguarding of traditional Turkish archery strengthens these measures. The plan has clearly defined goals and objectives developed with the participation of the many bearers and actors related to the safeguarding of the element. The evaluation body recommends that the committee inscribe traditional Turkish archery on the representative list of the Intangible Cultural Heritage of Humanity. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Bak. So we'll go through the decision as they're not amendments and proceed to adopt it as a whole. I therefore declare decision 14-10b38 adopted. Congratulations, Turkey. You have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Distinguished members of state parties, first of all, on behalf of people and the government of Turkey, we would like to thank the evaluation body and committee members for expressing their positive statements about our nomination file. We strongly believe that the inscription of this element on the representative list will in general contribute to the visibility of traditional archery and ICH at local and national levels, and will raise awareness of related organizations and the practitioners of traditional archery sports in different geographical areas of the world. Dear participants, recent years have witnessed a rapid increase in the number of related NGOs and practitioners in Turkey, both at local and national levels, making the element more visible. And the related NGOs have shown great efforts for safeguarding the element with sustainable ways. Therefore, I would like to pass the microphone to the representative of Archers Foundation to deliver his thanks speech.
Distinguished members of state parties, traditional Turkish archery is not only a game, but also an important element of the cultural life in Turkey. With its educational, cultural, social, and religious dimensions, it's a bucket of principles, rituals, social practice, the craftsmanship, disciplines, and shooting techniques that have evolved over the centuries. In fact, the practice of archery is part of the Turkish historical and cultural identity. For this reason, as the Archers Foundation, we actively participated in file preparation activities. I would like to thank the committee not only on behalf of the relevant community of the element, but also on behalf of all Turkish people. We will continue to ensure the viability of this element in close cooperation with related NGOs, national authorities, and other institutions such as Traditional Turkish Archery Federation and World Ethnosport Confederation. I would like to invite you to watching short video on element. Thank you.
Stay on target. Let the wind pat your face. Hear the voice of common heritage from thousands of years. You are many, like hundreds of thousands and millions. Don't forget, when you stretch the bow, you are together with all the people who hold their breath and whose heart beats as yours do. You are in the same language, in the same heart, in the same excitement. Hold your breath now. You stand shoulder to shoulder with the people gathered around you. On your right, Shucha from Bursa takes his halting place. On your left, Toskoparan Iskandar shoots an arrow to 846.5 meters far. He breaks a record which is not going to be broken again. This bow is made of alder, tendon, and horn. Glue from fish gristle is boiled to stick everything together. And many pieces are collected from the nature, which combine with harmony and get stronger as they gather.
Congratulations again, Turkey. Now we're going to move on to the file 10b39, Traditional Turkmen Carpet Making Art in Turkmenistan, submitted by Turkmenistan. You have the floor, Mrs. Bak.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The next file is Traditional Turkmen Carpet Making Art in Turkmenistan, submitted by Turkmenistan. Traditional Turkmen carpet making art in Turkmenistan relates to the production of traditional Turkmen carpets and carpet products, hand-woven woolen textile products decorated with ornamental art. From the information included in the file, the nomination satisfies all 5 criteria for inscription on the representative list. The evaluation body considered that the carpet-making art is broadly integrated into the social and cultural life of Turkmen people and is considered as a sign of cultural identity and unity. The proposed safeguarding measures are coherently organized around 7 main areas: transmission, research and documentation, education, publications, promotion and awareness raising, protection and preservation, and national capacity building. The evaluation body wishes to invite the state party to explore measures directed at the socioeconomic empowerment of women, given their key role in the safeguarding of the element. The evaluation body recommends that the committee inscribe traditional Turkmen carpet-making art in Turkmenistan on the representative list of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Bak. We will proceed in the same way since there are not amendments or not requests for debate. We'll go through the decision and adopt it as a whole. We have already the text on screen. I therefore declare decision 14-10b39 adopted. Congratulations, Turkmenistan. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We are so proud that the file of
Excuse me, just 1 second. I have to interrupt and ask Turkey to finish celebrating outside the room so we can hear the state party, Turkmenistan. I thank you so much. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. Turkmenistan is known all around the world for its magnificent carpet. A carpet is a symbol of Turkmen people. The art of Turkmen carpet making originated a long time ago and spread across all regions of Turkmenistan. The Turkmen carpets are weaved by the hands of Turkmen women from wool, cotton, and silk. It ornamented with strictly geometrical patterns, which are pertaining to the 5 main tribes of Turkmen. In Turkmenistan, the carpet is so sacred that even the national flag has carpet ornaments on it. The carpet-making art is integrated into the social and cultural life of Turkmen people, and it is considered as a sign of cultural identity and unity. Carpet making in Turkmenistan plays important roles in family and community rituals, social practice, and festive events. The annual celebration of Carpet Day plays a key role in the transmission of the element by gathering various communities and social cooperation. We are so proud that the file of traditional Turkmen carpet-making art in Turkmenistan inscribed on the representative list of intangible cultural heritage of humanity. Thank you for your support. We believe that the inscription would stimulate interest among communities from across the world and encouraging dialogue at the international level. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and congratulations again. Then we have arrived to examine the file. Oh, sorry, first we have the video. I'm sorry. Thank you. Congratulations. Now we'll move to 10b-40, tradition of cursive painted ceramics, submitting by Ukraine. Please, Mrs. Bach, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chairperson. The next file is Tradition of Cursive Painted Ceramics, submitted by Ukraine. The tradition of cursive painted ceramics, which includes dishes, ceremonial items, toys, and tiles, arose in the 18th century, reaching its golden age in the mid-19th century. The ceramics are used in everyday life and have a practical and artistic value. From the information included in the file, the nomination satisfies all 5 criteria for inscription on the representative list. The evaluation body considered that the tradition of cursive painted ceramics is recognized as an integral part of the local community life, which forms part of the sub-ethnos Hutsuls, relating to different aspects of their cultural and social life. The viability of cursive ceramics has been ensured by the state and the communities concerned in many ways. The proposed safeguarding measures continue and strengthen these previous measures. The community of bearers has been fully involved in the nomination process since 2013 at various stages. The evaluation body recommends that the committee inscribe tradition of cursive painted ceramics on the representative list of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Beck. We'll proceed in the same way directly to the draft decision, and we will adopt it as a whole. Do we have just 3 paragraphs? Is it okay? Or there's more? Oh, okay, then I declare decision 14-10b-40 adopted. Congratulations, Ukraine. The floor is yours.
Estimada señora presidenta, estimados miembros del comité, estimados expertos del comité, estimados delegados, damas y caballeros, tengo el honor de dirigirme a los participantes de la 14ª sesión del Comité Intergubernamental para la Salvaguardia del Patrimonio Cultural Inmaterial, felicitando a todos en nombre de Ucrania. Me complace observar cuánto hace cada uno de ustedes para preservar el patrimonio cultural inmaterial, porque en la era de la globalización y el rápido desarrollo de las tecnologías digitales, es nuestra prioridad preservar la riqueza de las culturas de los diferentes pueblos cuya base es el patrimonio cultural inmaterial. Quiero agradecer su confianza y su apoyo a la iniciativa de Ucrania de incluir la tradición de la cerámica pintada de Kosif a la lista del patrimonio cultural inmaterial de UNESCO. Tengo el gran honor y la responsabilidad de enriquecer el patrimonio mundial con una de las tradiciones de rica y diversa cultura ucraniana. La tradición de la cerámica de Kosif es ahora una parte integral de la comunidad étnica local, los Gutsuls, que han vivido desde los tiempos remotos en Ucrania y conservaron sus tradiciones etnográficas y cotidianas. Quisiera destacar una importante característica de la cerámica de Kosif. Esta no había sido solamente utilitaria, sino también siempre fue y sigue siendo como una cronología de la etnia de Gutsuls. En sus dibujos de imágenes figurativas, esta cerámica presenta los más importantes acontecimientos de la historia de Gutsuls, las tradiciones de su vida cotidiana. Los Gutsuls guardan esta cerámica en los hogares familiares, formando una viva y continua conexión de las nuevas generaciones con sus raíces, determinando y preservando su identidad en el mundo globalizado. Junto a mí ahora están presentes los representantes de la comunidad local y portadores de la tradición del distrito de Kosif, ubicado en el oeste de Ucrania entre las montañas de los Cárpatos. Hoy Kosif es un centro de cerámica que aún conserva la tradición viva de hacer la cerámica pintada a mano y decorar sus hogares con esta. Aprovecho esta oportunidad. También quiero agradecer a estos representantes por su trabajo persistente y minucioso para preservar y promover nuestro patrimonio al nivel nacional y internacional. Muchas gracias e invito a todos a Ucrania a ver su cultura diversa.
Congratulations. Now we'll move on to examine 10b-41. Khorazm Dance Lazgi from Uzbekistan. You have the floor, Mrs. Back.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairperson. The next file is Khorazm Dance Lazgi, submitted by Uzbekistan. The movements of Khorazm Dance Lazgi encapsulate human creativity by reflecting the sounds and phenomena of surrounding nature, feelings of love and happiness. Chorazm dance Lasgi is a key form of self-expression and is transmitted across the generations through the creation of new versions of performances. From the information included in the file, the nomination satisfies all 5 criteria for inscription on the representative list. The evaluation body considered that Chorazm dance Lasgi promotes a spirit of solidarity and fraternity among people belonging to different social categories. Influenced by social life and the activities of the local communities, it represents real life in its movements and is also a means of satisfying the moral needs of the people. The viability of Chorazm dance Lasgi is not currently under any serious threat. The proposed safeguarding measures are to be implemented with the active participation of the communities concerned. A bottom-up approach was adopted during the preparation of the nomination. The evaluation body recommends that the committee inscribe Chorazm dance Lasgi on the representative list of the Intangible Cultural Heritage of Humanity. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Back. Since there are not amendments, we will go through the decision and adopt it as a whole. It is already on screen. I therefore declare decision 14-10b-41 adopted. Congratulations, Uzbekistan. The floor is yours.
Madam Chair, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as this is my first opportunity to take the floor, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the Chair for her excellent moderation. I also thank the Colombian government and UNESCO Secretariat for arranging this meeting on the highest level. It is my delight and honor to represent my country in the 14th session of Intergovernmental Committee. I am especially proud of being a part of history when the representative list of the Intangible Cultural Heritage of Humanity has just been enriched with another cultural element from Uzbekistan, Chorazm dance Lasgi. I would like to express my sincere appreciation to all who have been involved in considering our nomination, the evaluation body, and committee members for their valuable support. Lasgi definitely deserves to be in the list due to many reasons. First, initial elements of this dance appeared when humans invented the fire. Second, the elements of Lasgi are totally different from other dances in the region, even in Uzbekistan. Third, Lasgi is well known because of its fiery and increasingly energetic nature. Creators of this dance are Khwarezmis who lived and are still living in the lowest slopes of the Amudarya River. Today, Lasgi is very popular in all parts of Uzbekistan and performed in public holidays, festivals, and family events. We intend to preserve this element for the future generations to come. Having a very rich history and cultural heritage, Uzbekistan has much to offer to the representative list, and we look forward to working closely with this committee on this. In the upcoming years, we're going to promote the inscription of the Bakhshi art, which is narrating a folk epic in combination with storytelling, and some examples also of ethnic sports. Without further ado, I would like to kindly ask operators to play a short video footage about Lasgi so you can feel the beauty, passion, and joy of this dance. Thank you.
Bahar içemem bülbül olmasa Gülzar سير نيلم آل دلم مسي aman ay aman gari dağlar karlı bular karsız bulmaz yiğit başı aman bulsa yarlı bular yarsız bulmaz aman ay aman. Şehvarsan kaysı kutana oxusin navbayta narsan kaysı çemen zanın lavlayı gül narsan söyle bana sen ey kim.
Thank you and congratulations again. Now we have arrived to the file 10b-42, Practices of 10 by Thai, Nung, and Thai ethnic groups in Vietnam, submitted by Vietnam. The floor is yours, Mrs. Back.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The next file is Practices of 10 by Thai, Nung, and Thai ethnic groups in Vietnam, submitted by Vietnam. 10. An essential ritual practice in the spiritual life of the Thai, Nung, and Thai ethnic groups in Vietnam reflects concepts about human beings, the natural world, and the universe. 10 ceremonies describe a journey in which the 10 master, male or female, controls ghost soldiers traveling from the earth realm to the heaven realm. From the information included in the file, the nomination satisfies all 5 criteria for inscription on the representative list. The evaluation body considered that 10 rituals express the cultural identity of Thai, Nung, and Thai ethnic groups, from customs to musical instruments, dance, and music. The viability of the element is ensured by individuals, families, or communities inviting 10 masters to pray for health, peace, and good crops. The communities and artists were actively involved in planning the proposed safeguarding measures. The folk artists and communities concerned actively participated in all stages of the preparation of the nomination file through meetings, seminars, conferences, and workshops. The evaluation body recommends that the committee inscribe Practices of 10 by Thai, Nung, and Thai ethnic groups in Vietnam on the representative list of the Intangible Cultural Heritage of Humanity. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Back. Following what we have established, we'll go through the decision and proceed to adopt it as a whole. It's already on screen. I therefore declare decision 14-10b-42 adopted. Vietnam, congratulations, the floor is yours.
Madam Chair, ladies and gentlemen, at the moment, people from 11 provinces in the northern regions of Vietnam are immensely gratified that the practice of 10 of the Thai, Nung, and Thai ethnic groups in Vietnam inscribed on the representative list is Intangible Cultural Heritage of Humanity. The inscription has enormous significance that testifies to the rich cultural identities of Vietnam. The sense of togetherness promotes cultural diversity and encourages the dialogue among individuals, communities, and different ethnic groups. The inscription encourages the dialogue among individuals, communities, and ethnic groups for its spiritual values, the harmonious relationships between human beings and the natural world. The practice, the 10 expresses the consolidation of solidarity of the ethnic groups, respects the ethnic world's view in the conformity of the UNESCO's objectives. On the behalf of Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism of Vietnam, and community that practice the 10 rituals of the Tây Nung and Thái as groups, we committed to carry out the action plan on the safeguarding of these practices. Finally, I would like to express my sincere thanks to the evaluation body, the committee member, the secretariat for their cold-hearted work and support for the inscriptions of this element. Thank you very much.
Body, riding a thorny horse, which means trampling on thorns without feeling pain, running over and swallowing flames, and chewing the incense that has been burnt. In addition, he also acts as a talented performing artist in the sacred atmosphere.
Mà thế lòng tăng tờ đón vòng, mà thế lòng tăng đâm là đón đâm ơi, quan bia du tu ngục hưng vằn, quan phân du tu phạm hưng mự, quan này ơi lục bốc cầm ăn pi lòng một, tục thần cầm ăn khốp, đầy đầy đo ra tham pi liền mỹ phang màn phục.
After the offerings have been given to all of the deities and the host spirit has been found, the master comforts the spirit, advising it to return to the land of the living. The Tay, Nung and Thai deem that 10 masters are extraordinary persons. Only they can contact deities. That is because they are destined to do the job, and most of them were born into a 10 clan, but they are only allowed to do the job after following and learning from a senior master for some years, and then attending an initiation ceremony by the master, who establishes an altar dedicated to deities and permits them to practice the job.
Congratulations again. Now we have come to examine the last nomination for the representative list. Under the item 10B36, Falak, from Tajikistan. The floor is yours, Mrs. Back.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The next file is Falak, submitted by Tajikistan. Falak is a musical genre associated with the musical culture of mountain-dwelling Tajiks and includes vocal and instrumental varieties in both one-part and cyclic forms. Falak is considered as an integral part of traditional cultural life in Kulop and Badakhshan and is closely connected to the spirituality of the communities concerned. From the information included in the file, the nomination satisfies criteria R1 and R4 for inscription on the representative list. The evaluation body considered that Falak is connected with people's religious and personal lives, which endows the element with social roles and cultural importance. About 50 communities from Badakhshan, Kulop, Dushanbe, and other cities and places were involved in the preparation of the nomination of Falak. However, the evaluation body considered that the information is not sufficient to assess criteria R2, R3, and R5. The file does not explain how the inscription of Falak would encourage the visibility of intangible cultural heritage in general, nor how it would encourage dialogue. It also fails to show how the inscription would promote respect for cultural diversity. Though many safeguarding measures have been undertaken to ensure the viability of Falak, the proposed safeguarding measures are not concrete enough. The nomination file does not clearly demonstrate how the inventory was drawn up with the participation of the communities, groups, and non-governmental organizations concerned. Therefore, the evaluation body recommends that the committee refer Falak to the submitting state. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Back. Now we have an amendment that was submitted by Kazakhstan and supported by many other countries. So I'll give the floor to Kazakhstan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Having studied this file, we strongly believe, and being from the region, that the beautiful tradition of Falak fully deserves an inscription into the representative list of the intangible cultural heritage. We also believe that this is not a bad file, and we deeply regret that the evaluation body chose not to engage into the dialogue process with the submitting state party, thus, in our view, limiting the community's chances to explain their case better and to address the concerns raised by the experts. From studying the file, we believe that at least two of the criteria indicated as insufficient by the evaluation body can be considered as met, and it is also debatable about around the third issue. But we would like to ask the delegations, Tajik delegations present here, their view of the evaluation body's conclusion on the inadmissibility of the file under criteria R2, that the evaluation body believes the file does not explain how the inscription of Falak would encourage the visibility of ICH in general, nor how it would encourage dialogue, and fails to show how the inscription would promote respect for cultural diversity, with which our delegation disagrees. But please, I would like to know the opinion of the Tajik delegation on this conclusion of the evaluation body. Once again, we believe that the conclusion presented to us is not fair enough to the state party. Thank you.
Thank you, Kazakhstan. Does anybody else want to ask a question for the Tajik delegation? Azerbaijan, please, and then Austria.
Thank you, Madam President. My delegation thanks Tajikistan for the submission of the Falak nomination. We particularly noted the significant role Falak plays for the communities in Tajikistan, as Falak musicians and performers are well respected within the society and represent an integral part of it. We also appreciate the work of the evaluation body and their recommendation. Of course, we disagree with certain part of it, but we appreciate their work. We have consulted among the committee members this issue, and we do understand the established practice within this committee, and for the sake of consensus and the consistency of the decisions taken by the committee, previous sessions of the committee, and for the sake of preserving the spirit of the established practice, we believe that this issue should be discussed first, and to give the opportunity for the state party to express their views about the recommendation of the evaluation body. However, we believe that the criterion R2 is met by the information provided in the dossier. First of all, we need to say that, and we mentioned this in numerous cases, that the criterion R2 remains a problematic criterion where many countries continue to experience difficulties. With regard to the recommendation of the evaluation body concerning this R2, we noted that even the answer to criterion R2 in this nomination could have been better formulated. We do find statements replying to the concerns raised by the evaluation body. For instance, the section R2IB contains a list of expected achievements in terms of promoting ICH in general at the national level that can result from the FALAC inscription. At least lines 1, 4, 5, and 6 of the list of these achievements directly refer to the ICH in general. Furthermore, as far as the aspect of dialogue under the criterion R2 is concerned, the file mentions that the inscription might provide wider involvement of communities into the network of traditional artistic schools, thus promoting dialogue among these communities. It is also expected to unite Tajik mountaineers around shared heritage practices. In this context, even certain aspects could have been stated in a more precise manner. We believe that this criterion is met. When it comes to the criterion R5, our delegation considers that the section 5 of the file does contain the name of the institution in charge of inventorying in Tajikistan, the Research Institute of Culture, and information of the Ministry of Culture, subsection 2, and inventorying process is clearly outlined in subsection 6. As far as the community participation in inventorying is concerned, the file refers to the participation of Center of the ICH Kulab, a local center of the ICH of the Holbook Museum, as well as, most importantly, to the NGO called Odam Va Olam, identified also in the file as representing the community of the element. With this in mind, we believe that with regard to the criterion R2 and R5, the nomination satisfies these two criteria. When it comes to the criteria R3, we have a specific question to the Tajikistan. What are the activities or measures are foreseen for safeguarding FALAC, especially those supporting evolving and dynamic nature of ICH, and how communities concerned were involved in planning safeguarding measures? Thank you.
Thank you, Azerbaijan. I have the following countries on my list: Austria, Philippines, Kuwait, and that's it. So the floor is for Austria and Netherlands.
Thank you, Madam Chair. You know what's coming. Well, at the outset, allow me to express the Austrian delegation's deep disappointment that our agreement has not been kept. In our understanding, no amendments should have been introduced in this case. And we hope that this does not set a negative precedent for the future, and we can return to the original understanding of the agreement. Now, as we have the opportunity to comment, we would like to express our concerns and pose a question to the submitting state. But first, let me say that coming from a country that is located in the Central Alps, we are very familiar with musical cultures in the mountains and their importance for communities who are living in these oftentimes remote areas. And what I particularly admire about this element is the representation of the spiritual relationship between the practitioners and the mountains. Being a passionate alpinist myself, I hope that I will hear Falak someday when I'm hiking in the mountains of Tajikistan. Unfortunately, 3 sections of this file need to be revised. Concerning R5, it is not clear to us if and how the communities participated in the inventorying process. The file mentions local centers of the ICH, which have gathered information about the element. To our understanding, the NGO does not represent the community. With reference to our operational directives number 80, concerning the creation of a consultative body to facilitate the participation of bureaus and practitioners in the drawing up of inventories, we would like to ask the state parties, have the local centers and the NGO mentioned in section R5.6 facilitated the participation of communities, and if they did so, in what ways did the communities participate? And afterwards, we would like to hear from the evaluation body their reflection on the answers provided by the state party. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Austria. Philippines.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairperson. We thank the State Party, Tajikistan, for this nomination. We acknowledge the importance of this element, Falak, for the communities concerned and the State Party. We recognize the immense efforts of the State Party in preparing this nomination. Noting the comments of the evaluation body, we would like to ask the State Party how the inscription of the element would raise visibility of ICH in general and promote dialogue. Also, while noting the informal gentleman's agreement not to open dossiers with 3 or more unmet criteria, we also think it is important to respect the prerogative of committee members to debate on any file and appropriately amend draft decisions if they so decide on a case-by-case basis. We highly appreciate the constructive approach of the State Party and the co-sponsors of the original amendment to the draft decision and the committee as a whole in this regard, and welcome this discussion on this file. Thank you.
Thank you, Philippines. Kuwait, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, since we are one of the co-sponsors of the draft resolutions being submitted, and we heard from our dear colleagues saying regarding the agreement, and I think for an agreement to be valid, it should be validated with all members, even for the newcomers. As far to my knowledge, that agreement was being made before so many of those committee members became members, and I wasn't aware of it, and I wasn't, unless that agreement was a draft decision, I will respect it, and I have no issue about that. But if the agreement was taken before we came, I don't think I'm obliged to that agreement. Saying that, I would appreciate that dialogue was met in this dossier. Like some of the dossiers we see today, there were 2 criteria were not met, but after the dialogue, they were changed and we had inscription. So if the dialogue was done in this dossier, we maybe have less than 3 criteria not met. Saying that, after looking at the dossier and discussing it with the submitting state party, we believe that criteria 5 has met. With regards to criteria 5, the Research Institute of Culture and Information and organized a group for updating Dagestan national inventory and working in the nomination files, consisting of scholars, culture officers, craftsmen, artists, folklore performance, NGO chairmen, and journalists and others. During 2013, the inventory group members carried out several fieldworks in different regions of Dagestan. The element of Falak was identified on the basis of requests of the Falak performers, local communities, NGOs, and individuals. Inventory was drawn up with the participation of Falaki communities when the ICH database for the inventory was created. And in 2016, Falak was inscribed to the national list of intangible cultural heritage of Dagestan, and it has been updated since they are under the responsibility body of the Research Institute of Culture and Information. Therefore, we believe that R5 has been met, but we'd like to hear the submitting state party for more clarification, and I would like to thank the committee members for allowing us to open the discussion on this dossier. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kuwait. Now the floor is for Netherlands.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Netherlands notes that for this file, the evaluation body has found 3 out of 5 criteria not fulfilled. That is why we are deeply worried about the fact that amendments to the DR have been introduced. The evaluation body is the consultative body for evaluating nominations and is established by the committee, by us. As stated before, the Netherlands values the expertise of the evaluation body greatly. We take their advice seriously, and we think, for the credibility of the convention, its advice should be followed. That is why we align ourselves with the statement of Austria and their post questions to the submitting state party about community participation. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, l'Arménie, la parole est à vous, s'il vous plaît.
Oui, merci Madame la Présidente. Je souhaiterais revenir sur la question de l'accord qui a été évoqué par la délégation de l'Autriche. Non pas pour dire que nous ne sommes pas engagés par cet accord, comme l'a fait remarquer, parce que le pays n'aurait pas été présent lorsque cet accord a été convenu. Mais il y a un élément nouveau qui intervient, c'est justement ce processus de dialogue en amont. Et rien ne dit que si ce processus de dialogue en amont avait été effectivement mis en œuvre pour le cas de cet élément, eh bien les critères, dirons-nous, qui auraient été retenus à l'encontre, dirons-nous, qui n'auraient pas été considérés comme satisfaits, auraient pu être maintenus comme tels. Par conséquent, je crois que c'est quand même un élément important, cette notion de dialogue. Nous avons pu en mesurer les bienfaits, et il serait utile, puisque nous sommes dans le cadre d'une discussion ouverte avec l'État soumissionnaire, qu'il puisse, le Tadjikistan, puisse intervenir sur les questions qui lui ont été posées et qui ont directement un lien avec les critères auxquels il n'aurait pas satisfait. Donc je crois que c'est quand même un élément qu'on doit garder à l'esprit, c'est-à-dire ce dialogue qui a été entamé et qui a connu effectivement des issues concluantes dans un certain nombre de cas, aurait sans doute pu avoir des conséquences sur l'appréciation de l'organe d'évaluation. Merci.
Merci l'Arménie. I will now give the floor to the state party in order to answer several questions that I will summarize. Azerbaijan has posed a question around criterion 3 that has to do with the safeguarding measures and how the community is involved. Then Austria posed a question about R5 and how the local centers and NGOs can facilitate the participation of community in the inventory making process. Philippines has raised a question about how the element raises the visibility of ICH. Kuwait also mentioned the participation of community, and Netherlands also raised a question about the community participation. The floor now is for Tajikistan.
Your Excellency, dear Chairman, dear members of the committee, we would like to express our sincere appreciation for your interest in our nomination. We would also like to thank the evaluation body for their constructive comments that we would definitely take for consideration when finalizing our event planning for safeguarding the tradition of Falak as an important element of the intangible cultural heritage. Regarding the questions raised in concern to criteria R2, 3, 5, we would like to provide the following answers. Regarding the visibility in general, organizations and associated institutes in Tajikistan did a tremendous work to increase visibility of Falak. In the education sector, Falak education transmission from family and local schools into the curriculum of state music schools and faculties. Many conferences, seminars, and master classes was organized. Collecting work in rural areas was done by conservatory students between 2004 and 2017. Many publications was done. For instance, first collection of Falak music notes was published. Encouraging traditional music among urban population and youth. Extensive research on national, regional levels. Popularization of classic and modern poetry via Falak. Implementation of joint projects on Falak in education, music performance, research, and fieldwork. Regarding encouraging dialect and cultural diversity, cultural integration of two mountains regions of Tajikistan, Kulob, and Badakhshan, connecting rural and urban population, different age, gender, and social groups via popularization of traditional music, promoting traditions of Eastern Makamat music traditions worldwide, wider recognition of the element as a universal cultural phenomenon, researching spiritual nature and poetry qualities of Falak, fostering inter-regional and international cooperation and joint projects related to the element. In response to the description of the safeguarding measures proposed, the nomination states, but since Falak is sustained in rural environmental of mountainous areas of Badakhshan, Pamir, and Kulob, the main responsibility for safeguarding in element lies on the bears, Falak Khans, as it has been for many years. Therefore, in rural areas, the main safeguarding measures mentioned of sustaining rural communities and traditional mode of transferring Ustad Shogir. On state level, the proposed safeguarding measures listed including master Falak Khans in state inventory of master performance, activities in the framework of Tajikistan Cultural Policy and State Program on Safeguarding each 2003-2020, capacity building activities in the framework of UNESCO programs and Aga Khan music initiatives, incorporating Falak in school curricula and university programs, organization of conferences and seminars, maintaining traditional music assemblies on local and regional levels, organizers of Falak Day. What about R5? Falak was inscribed on the national each list of Tajikistan in 2016, and each element is updated every 3 years after its inscription. However, the nomination file does not clearly the institution in charge of the inventory is a research institute of
Excuse me. Could you please answer exactly or precisely the question raised by Austria?
Okay. Inventory of Falak was conducted in 2001-2012 by Behers, NGOs Odam Olam, and Hunar, and local schools. In the course of the meeting with our 15 communities in Kulob and Badakhshan regions and Dushanbe. As first, it was identified and included in local registers of Kulob Museum Complex and Hulbuk Museums. Later, it was included in the state registry in April 2014. The national each list of Tajikistan was first drawn in 2010 with 46 elements updated every they explain traditional terminology by which teach traditional schools by many cultures, concretizing and melodies which is specified to Falak. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tajikistan. Now, I will ask you to go to the draft decision. Palestine.
Gracias, Señora Presidente. I avoided to take the floor earlier just to make one intervention instead of doing so many interventions. First of all, I would like to thank the submitting state party Tajikistan for this element, Falak. Secondly, after having listened to the explanation of the state party, we would like to add Palestine as a co-sponsor for the amendments on R2 and R5. Now, I feel that we need to make a clarification regarding the gentleman agreement. The outgoing members and the Secretariat are fully aware about the origin of this agreement. I personally was behind this agreement, gentleman agreement, when I chaired the drafting group in 2017, when the committee was chaired by Ambassador Lee from the Republic of Korea. Indeed, It was before the newly elected members in 2018. Nevertheless, all new members were informed and the agreement was respected at the last session in Mauritius. And I consider that at this session currently, we are still respecting the agreement, since the essence, the spirit of the agreement was not to turn over the recommendation of the evaluation body. Now, with this case, indeed, there are 3 criteria not met, and the agreement stipulates at that time not to submit amendments on such files. But this is a special case, and I agree with my colleague from Philippines that in any case, this is an informal agreement, this is a gentleman agreement, and I'm happy that it is still respected. And also I would like to thank the submitting state as well as the co-sponsors for the amendments who agreed not to turn over the overall recommendation, which is referral. So in that case, I think we should not put into question again the gentleman agreement. It is, since 2017 up till now, it is still valid and respected. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Palestine. Please, let's see the draft decision on the screen. Oh, sorry. Excusez-moi, le Sénégal, la parole est à vous.
Merci, Madame la Présidente. Je voudrais simplement appuyer de manière la plus forte ce que le collègue vraiment de la Palestine, l'honorable délégué de la Palestine vient de dire. Un gentleman agreement qui a été retenu dans un comité nous engage, malheureusement, même si certains n'étaient pas au courant. Et ça, vraiment, je pense que depuis hier, on dialogue. Donc, on est ouvert au dialogue. Même pour cette question, on est ouvert au dialogue. C'est pourquoi c'est ouvert au débat. Parce que depuis hier, on a dialogué sur des sujets plus difficiles. Donc, on est d'accord pour le dialogue et on est même d'accord sur cet amendement. Mais vraiment, poser le problème du gentleman agreement comme étant, voilà, ne peut pas engager des membres du comité parce qu'ils n'étaient pas au courant, j'avoue très franchement que ça me met mal à l'aise. Mais je respecte quand même ces membres et je respecte leur point de vue parce que quand même chacun a le droit d'exprimer ses points de vue ici. Je vous remercie, Madame la Présidente.
Merci, Sénégal. Please, let's see the draft decision on screen. Excuse me, sorry, Austria.
Excuse me, Madam Chair. We wanted the evaluation body to comment on the explanations provided by the state party. So please allow the evaluation body to give us their views, whether the explanation provided, in particular on R5, satisfy the evaluation body. That's a very important point for us in order to agree on the amended text on R5, because there's still a couple of questions open, I'm afraid.
You're totally right. I apologize. And the floor is for Mrs. Back.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, for the opportunity to explain, to present the evaluation body's view after hearing the submitting state's answer, particularly on R5. But before we present the view on R5, I would like to mention the evaluation body's perspective on dialogue process. Ideally, almost all of the nominations would benefit from dialogue process, but we had to select the ones that are most appropriate for such process. That is why we selected 6 out of many referral cases. So the decision for the evaluation body to give unsatisfactory remark on 3 different criteria was not easily made. And upon hearing the answers provided by Tajikistan, the submitting state, first of all, this committee meeting is not an arena where new pieces of information are to be presented. On R5, I appreciate hearing the existence of several different organizations and institutions that are involved in the inventory making process, but still we see that there is a lack of information on how these organizations or institutions are related, and are there really the communities practicing this element. So we needed some concrete information in that regard. And also on R2, I think we heard very helpful, useful information from the submitting state on how the safeguarding, how inscription of this element would facilitate dialogue and communication among different organizations or different entities. But I think the answer still emphasizes almost solely on the enhancing the visibility of falak, the element, rather than enhancing the visibility or awareness of intangible cultural heritage in general. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Back. If there are not more interventions, should we go to the decision? Can we have it on screen, please? Then we are going to go paragraph by paragraph. Paragraph 1. With no amendments. Adopted. Paragraph 2, R1, not amendment, adopted. R4, same thing, not amendments, adopted. Paragraph 2 as a whole, adopted. Paragraph 3, we have an amendment submitted by Kazakhstan and supported by Azerbaijan, Kuwait, Armenia, China, Mauritius, Cameroon, Djibouti, Jamaica, Togo, and Palestine. The floor is for Austria.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's just because the amendment reads to determine whether the following criterion is satisfied. Austria is still not satisfied that only one is satisfied, we think. Sorry, I have to think now. Something I got. We have the opinion that exactly, as we have the opinion that R5 has to be kept. All right, I think I'm a bit lost in the text now. I'm sorry.
This is the original amendment.
We are talking now about R2.
R2, yeah.
Okay. Oh, sorry then. Sorry, I was lost. We share the evaluation body's finding, but since there was a difficulty
Excuse me, Austria. There is a proposal to delete R2. That's
yes, and
to
I'd
be
like
precise.
To just comment on this. We share the evaluation body's finding, but since there was a difficulty of assessing criteria in R2, as in previous cycles, we can accept the amendment. However, we would encourage the state party to come back to this section when they work on the file again and consider the comments made by the evaluation body. As we have heard quite clearly from the state party, there's still a misunderstanding of what R2 means. Tajikistan, in her intervention, was very clear how the inscription would increase the visibility of the element, but we are asking how the inscription of falak would increase the visibility of ICH, of intangible cultural heritage in general, so as a whole. So if they could come back when they revise their file to expand on this, that would be very much appreciated by Austria. But you can go on adopting R2.
Okay, so the deletion of R2 has now active relative support. So we can adopt it. The deletion is adopted. Now we'll come to R3. No amendment. Adopted. Now we have an amendment of deletion of R5. Austria.
Well, as much as we appreciate the efforts of Tajikistan to provide information and to tell us how the communities were involved, I'm afraid that the information we asked for was not provided for. So we have very much difficulties to agree on that text, that on the basis of the information provided here, we would be satisfied. So we will ask, and I should make it very clear why. We ask specifically, in the file it is mentioned, we have 2 centers in an NGO that were involved in the inventorying. I want to make it very clear if there's a misunderstanding. A local center and an NGO is not the community, unless they're specifically, or it is specifically indicated in the file that they represent the community, or that they are organs or bodies that facilitate the participation of the community. We have not heard of this at all. And that might be just a misunderstanding of what is meant, a misunderstanding that an NGO is not the community, unless it's possible that the NGO represents the community because the bearers, or the practitioners, are part of the community. But nothing in the file suggests that this is the case. In that case, if that's true, we would really like the state party to come back, reflect on this, and ensure community participation in the true sense. I've heard other committee members saying the file does say that this NGO, whose name I cannot recall, represents the community. I have looked through the file, and if these committee members can tell us exactly in the file where it's expresses where it's stated that this NGO represents the community, I would be very happy to withdraw my reservation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Austria.
So excuse me, just to be clear, I want the original text on R5 to be back on the screen.
Okay. Then, Azerbaijan and Netherlands.
Thank you,
Palestine.
Madam President. Having listened to the intervention from our Austrian colleagues, we still believe and insist that the participation of communities through this NGO was ensured, as it is already reflected in the nomination dossier, that this NGO, which is called Odam Va Olam, representing the community of the element, it is already in the dossier, in other parts of the dossier, saying that this NGO representing the musicians, artists, etc., were taking part in different festivals, etc., which is a clear identification of the community participation in this NGO. I still insist of keeping R5. Thank you.
Now it's Netherlands' turn.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Netherlands is not convinced that R5 is met after hearing the answers of the submitting state party. That is why we would like to support Austria's request to go back to the original text. Thank you.
Palestine.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think there is a kind of a misunderstanding. Everybody is aware that since yesterday and this morning there have been discussions between members of the committee and their experts. And some experts have one interpretation, other experts do not agree with them, which is normal, and especially regarding R5. I think at this stage the most important thing is that to notice that the original recommendation of the evaluation body is respected, whether R5 is amended or not. I say again, R5 is a matter for discussion and interpretation. Some experts consider that it is satisfied, others consider that it is not satisfied. I'm not going to enter into this debate for the moment, but the most important thing at this stage is to keep in mind whether it is amended or not, it doesn't change the recommendation. That's why I appeal to our colleagues from Austria and Netherlands to be a little bit flexible and to accept the R5 as amended, since there is a broad active support. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Well, at this stage, I don't see active broad support to this deletion. So I don't know if you want the floor, Kazakhstan, but this is...
This is only to align myself with the opinion of the Azerbaijan delegation that the NGO, in our view, does represent the community, as it involves practitioners of this element, and it is one of the tools that practitioners, through which practitioners can work on making their intangible cultural heritage known, promoted, advanced, strengthened, and so on. I understand some of the concerns raised by our esteemed Austrian colleague. However, we would like this amendment to be kept. Thank you.
Thank you, Cyprus.
Merci, Madame la Présidente. À vrai dire, je ne comprends pas ce qui se passe avec ce dossier, puisque de toute façon, ce dossier, il reste refaire. Même si on change les critères, hein, c'est-à-dire si on approuve dans le 2 et le 5, hein, de toute manière, ce dossier il va se représenter l'année prochaine ou dans 2 ans. Donc, de toute manière, il va refaire tous les critères. Je pense que tous les critères vont être représentés. Ça veut dire que le critère 5, hein, il va être refait pendant le renouvellement de son dossier. Donc, je ne comprends pas pourquoi on prend en effet critère par critère. Si on adopte les 5 et on n'adopte pas les 3, qu'est-ce qui change? Voilà ma question.
But at the moment, we have received an amendment on this specific paragraph for R5. We have to discuss it. That's the way we have been done. So, Senegal, please.
Merci, Madame la Présidente. Je pense effectivement c'est un amendement qu'on a reçu. Et sur cet amendement qu'on se prononce. Si l'agrément a été respecté, on n'aurait pas dû se prononcer. Mais là, du fait qu'on a commencé à se prononcer sur cet amendement, je pense quand même que si les ONG travaillent avec des communautés et qu'il est précisé dans le dossier que ces ONG ont un rapport avec ces communautés, moi je pense que le Sénégal peut sponsoriser cet amendement. On voudrait s'ajouter à cet amendement. Merci beaucoup.
Merci, Sénégal, Kuwait.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. I truly understand the interpretation from our colleagues from Austria regarding, R5, but our interpretation is the same as what's been said by Azerbaijan and also our colleagues from Kazakhstan. These NGOs are there representing the community. That's what our understanding, and that's our point of view. So we are support during it. Thank you.
Thank you, Kuwait. Philippines.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Having listened very closely to the debate and the different sides of interpretation, we in our national experience, the NGOs involved in preparation of dossiers are representative of the communities concerned. And we feel that what we've heard is that it is the same case in this, for this dossier. Hence, we are happy to join the list of co-sponsors for this amendment. And with this, I think the amendment receives broad active support. Thank you.
Thank you, Philippines. L'Arménie.
Oui, merci, Madame la Présidente. Je crois qu'il y a malgré tout un aspect subjectif, parce que pour pouvoir mettre en cause la représentativité de ceux qui ont été sollicités dans le cadre de cette concertation, il faut avoir aussi une connaissance finalement de la structure des communautés, de la façon dont elles sont représentées. Est-ce que aujourd'hui ceux qui contestent la représentativité de ceux qui sont intervenus dans ce cadre, dans le cadre de cette concertation, peuvent effectivement donner des informations très précises sur la façon dont les communautés sont structurées, de la façon dont elles sont représentées, c'est une question importante. Je crois que c'est tout à fait important de prendre en considération les indications qui ont été formulées
Excusez-moi, l'Arménie.
l'État de Tadjikistan.
Point of order by Palestine.
Yes, Madam Chair. The decision-making agreement, you know it better than me now. Whenever there is an amendment and whenever there are two concerns, we need the active support. We have it. I think at this stage we can adopt R5 as amended, and go forward. No need to waste more time. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yes, of course. I was waiting for Armenia to finish the intervention, and afterwards, I was going to tell that we have already active
exactement aux délégués de la Palestine qui respectent les orateurs qui sont en train de parler et qui permettent justement à ce qu'ils développent leurs argumentations. Bon, j'ai été sur le point de terminer. En tout état de cause, c'est quand même important lorsque un État parti met en cause la façon dont ces communautés sont représentées, qu'ils aient une connaissance précise de la façon dont ces communautés sont structurées, leur degré de représentativité. Et je crois que si aujourd'hui la délégation de l'Autriche est en mesure de donner des informations aussi précises sur la réalité de cette représentation des communautés, eh bien qu'elle nous livre effectivement ces informations. Merci.
Merci l'Arménie. Maintenant, on a abouti. On peut enlever R5 parce qu'on a eu déjà active broad support. So to move forward, Austria.
I'm sorry, but active support doesn't mean that we have already given our consensus here. I'm going to be very short and we can move on. I will insist that nothing in the file suggests that these centers or the NGO are representative. We don't know. That's why we ask specifically. We would still now agree to have this adopted. The amendment is proposed to delete R5, but we would really encourage or urge even the state party to ensure community participation in all stages of the revision, in particular on this point too. We would be very happy if that could be done, and we would also like to propose an amendment that ensures the community participation, sort of after the paragraph on referral.
Thank you so much, Austria. We'll go back to R5. We have active broad support, so the deletion of this R5 is adopted. We'll now move to paragraph 4. Oh, sorry. Go back to paragraph 3 to adopt it as a whole. So paragraph 3 is adopted. Now we're on paragraph 4. We have also an amendment. And we'll go to R2, amendment submitted by Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, Kuwait, Armenia, China, Mauritius, Cameroon, Djibouti, Jamaica, Togo, and Palestine. I think we have relative active support, so we can move on. R2 adopted. R5, amendment by Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, Kuwait, Armenia, China, Mauritius, Cameroon, Djibouti, Jamaica, Togo, and Palestine. As in the previous criterion, in this one, I see active relative support. So we can move on and adopt it. Paragraph 4 as a whole. Adopted. Paragraph 5. There's no amendments. Adopted. Austria.
Thank you very much. I just would like to introduce a new paragraph after 5. So new paragraph 6 would read, urges the state party to ensure community participation throughout the process of revising the file. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Austria, Kazakhstan, and then Armenia.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We would like to indicate our opinion before we proceed to the final decision of which we are not sure it's much on the merit, namely the referral. And since we believe that this file could have deserved inscription with this dossier, but we would like to indicate the case of R5 discussion over whether NGOs represent the communities and whether it is indicated in the file as an example of a ground which could have justified upstream dialogue on this particular issue. If that was not very clear from the file, I believe there could have been a request to explain that, since there are communities, NGOs mentioned, and this could have made it one less criteria not met. And this is what we wanted to highlight. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Kazakhstan, Armenia.
Oui, merci Madame la Présidente. Je crois que la formulation ici présentée est un peu sous forme d'injonction. C'est-à-dire, quand on dit pris instamment, on a l'impression que l'État soumissionnaire ne l'a pas fait. Donc, éventuellement, on peut encourager l'État partie à assurer une participation. Mais lorsqu'on dit pris instamment, je veux dire, c'est quasiment une mise en cause sur la façon dont elle a procédé auparavant. Et ça, nous n'y sommes pas favorables. Merci.
Netherlands.
The Netherlands supports the new the paragraph 6.
Excuse me, do you support urges or encourages?
I don't care.
We can make it really easy. We are okay with the encourages.
Azerbaijan and then Palestine.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to echo what has been said by the colleague from Kazakhstan about the dialogue process. I think this is a clear manifestation where this dialogue can be beneficial for the state party concerned to understand the requirements of the R5. So if there is such misunderstanding about the community participation, whether NGO represents the community or not, then evaluation body could simply ask clarification from the state party, at least to satisfy the criteria R5. So I strongly encourage evaluation body in future to take this into account, that upstream process can be utilized in a way to facilitate our debates here as well. When it comes to the proposal of Austria and amended by Armenia, we support this amendment, and we'd like to be added to this, encourage the state party to ensure community participation. Thank you.
Jamaica.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Jamaica also supports the wording of encourages rather than urges. We need to recognize what the spirit, not only the letter, of the convention speaks to. And it might seem like neither here nor there, but it is a significant difference. So we support.
Thank you, Jamaica. I think there is an agreement on this paragraph with the word encourages. Is it okay? Palestine?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. First of all, I would like just to clarify one thing, that my point of order was not meant to interrupt anybody. This is the first thing. Second thing, now for the amendment, I would like also to support the amendment as amended by Armenia. Thank you.
Thank you, Palestine. So let's move on to adopt paragraph 6, amended by Armenia and supported by other countries. We can adopt it. Let's go and adopt the whole decision. I declare decision 14-10b36 adopted. Okay, Tajikistan, the floor is yours.
Madame le Président, chers membres du comité, Mesdames et Messieurs les partis non membres du comité, Mesdames et Messieurs les représentants des organisations non gouvernementales, chers invités, Mesdames et Messieurs les participants, au nom du gouvernement de la République du Tadjikistan, je voudrais saisir cette prise de parole pour tout d'abord remercier le gouvernement de la République de Colombie pour l'accueil chaleureux et fraternel qui nous a été réservé, ainsi que la bonne organisation de cette session du comité. Remercier l'organe d'évaluation, les membres du comité pour avoir soutenu la candidature du FALAC. Je ne saurais terminer mon propos sans réaffirmer l'attachement et tout l'intérêt du gouvernement du Tadjikistan à poursuivre la mise en œuvre de la Convention, à poursuivre et à consolider les efforts consentis avec l'implication des communautés dans la sauvegarde du FALAC, à travers lesquels les peuples montrales tadjiks se reconnaissent, s'expriment, se remémorent la paix, vivant le quotidien et préparant l'avenir. Je vous remercie.
Merci, Tajikistan. We have now finished the item 10B, and at this stage, and for the next two files, Colombia and Venezuela files, I'm going to give the chair to Poland while the committee examines those files. Thank you. And thank you, Poland, for taking the chair.